welcome to my channel. Today I am going to tell you what you can expect astrologically for the year 2021. Uranus will be returning to direct motion in Taurus on January 14th, 2021. The retrograde started on August 15th, 2020, and it was in retrograde for a total of 5 months. Uranus will also come close to making squares with Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury in Aquarius around this time. On the day that Uranus goes direct, the moon will also pass through Aquarius, forming a stellium. Taurus is Uranus's fall position. Therefore, any changes Uranus brings to us while moving through Taurus are extremely disrupting and uncomfortable. Uranus going direct will usher significant financial changes in the world and in the global economy. However, with it squaring all these planets in Aquarius, these changes might not be the best. These changes can negatively impact many people, more specifically, political organizations and religious organizations. We can expect politicians and financial institutions to make significant changes to the financial system, and these changes are likely to impact all of us. We're in a very strange time, and I feel there could likely be civil wars and a lot of violence and protests as people deny these upcoming changes. There could be some security threats, and people in high positions will find themselves being invaded and losing a lot. People treated as lower class or that are looked down by those in higher society will take from those who have in access. Some important inventors who will create some really remarkable inventions in our upcoming future will be born this year. And some extremely influential figures in our future are going to be born in 2021. We should watch out for natural disasters while Uranus is direct this year, as there could be a chance of a natural disaster that could impact a portion of society and the economy. Even though there might be a civil war, we can also expect the unification of some countries. There could be very important organizations that form to protect the rights of people, as things will become quite chaotic between the conservatives and the liberals during 2021. The role of females and women in society will take a significant change as Uranus makes a trine to Venus, and this change will be for the fair treatment and liberation of females. We'll see more women gaining significant positions of power and men losing their positions of power. In 1934, when Uranus was in Taurus, we were in the middle of the Great Depression, and it is likely that we can see unemployment percentages skyrocketing globally this year. There could be a political figure who also goes a little bit crazy and who makes some really irresponsible and damaging decisions. Hitler became Führer when Uranus was in Taurus in 1934. Therefore, a person who has malicious intentions can gain a position of power. This will be a time of political and social extremism, where the opposing views will lead to adverse and disastrous outcomes in this world. Many extremist groups can form during this time. Many people on this earth could also live in scary and fearful living circumstances this year, fearing for their lives in some cases. Millions of people will also die in 2021, either due to the COVID-19 virus or due to violence. People might lose their minds and go on crime sprees and robberies. There will be a surge and an increase in crime this year, and we will see many robberies take place. There will be an increase in people living in slums and substandard living conditions this year, and many people will also likely lose their homes, either due to financial problems or natural disasters. If anything you obtained was obtained through the suffering of another, or through unethical actions, chances are you're going to lose it this year. If you received what you have ethically, it will likely remain yours. A child or person might go missing, and this will make international headlines. This case will likely be bigger than most missing persons cases. People will come up with some crazy evidence regarding conspiracy theories that are out there, but this evidence's source and accuracy will likely leave people questioning it for years to come. On a personal level, look at which house in your chart Uranus is currently in to see which area of your life will be impacted by this change. You will feel like life has thrown you into many directions regarding this area of your life, and there has been a lot of crazy changes that has occurred in this area of your life lately, especially since 2018. What changed or happened in 2018? This has led to many more changes in this area of your life, and many more changes will come that is linked to the change that you have made or that has happened back in 2018. If you have planets in Capricorn and Virgo, chances are that these changes that are coming will be extremely positive and beneficial for you, or some of these changes can likely usher positive things to come your way. People will change their view on money, and money will take on a whole new meaning in our lives this year. A lot of people will realize how they have been living in excess, and living in excess can be almost impossible during 2021, and many will need to adjust their lifestyles. Maintaining that high life will become harder and harder. The rich will start losing, and those who have very little will start getting more and more. Jupiter comes into a square with Uranus every 6 years, and we will experience a Jupiter-Uranus square on January 17th. It can feel challenging to reach our financial goals now, and a lot will go wrong, even when you plan as well as you can. These challenges we will be faced with will allow us to work harder and to put in more effort into that which it is that we desire. In the past, things could have come to us quite easily. However, during this transit, minimal effort will likely result in no results in the end. In order to receive results, more effort will need to be applied during this square. The square shows you how capable you are of putting your head to something and actually achieving it, regardless of the external circumstances that you face in your life. A lot of things will change in our lives during this transit, and to get more information about how these changes will be affecting you, look at which houses Jupiter and Uranus are placed in your natal charts. There will be two opposing forces in your life causing trouble for you. However, the challenges that this will bring will make you stronger and more capable in the future in the end. Before you proceed to make drastic changes now, make sure that you are informed. Make sure that these changes benefit all humanity and not just yourself, as if you are focused on personal gain, the challenges will just become greater. We can see the rise of a cult or a few cults in 2021, and there can also be some religious or political organizations that form some extremely shocking views and opinions, as there will have to be changes made to how political and religious systems divide the people, and many will likely challenge this. This is a time where we learn a lot, and what we learn can shock us, both on a personal and a global level. Alternative ways of viewing the world and alternative religions can be presented to us now during 2021. We realize that the norm that we have become accustomed to is merely an illusion in our minds, and things are busy changing drastically. Many people will change the way they view things, such as religion or politics, different cultures, and just the world in general, as they are presented with new information, or specific events will take place that will likely change their perception. Politicians or highly influential people will suddenly have to drop everything that they are doing and possibly travel somewhere urgently where they can be faced with a degree of danger. We can also see some influential people hiring helpers or advisors. The COVID-19 situation could cause many of us to change our careers and follow our passions. And this transit will usher a massive shift collectively when it comes to our careers and work. If you have been planning on making a career change or changes in your profession, chances of it happening during January and February is very high. Chances are the changes that are coming are going to be in the favor of society and their needs. The stellium in Aquarius is incredibly powerful, and we can likely see the downfall of major institutions and corporations, and weaker people and businesses will begin to gain power that allows them to empower many individuals over empowering just a few wealthy people. Neptune in Pisces will square the North Node in Gemini on January 26. Squares between outer planets and the nodes push us closer towards our fate. This is when we try to evolve as humans. However, it is tricky for us to face the reality we are dealt with during this evolution. This is a peculiar transit, as it will cause a lot of people to lose faith and touch with the spiritual side of life and their spirituality. We are in a world where people are more concerned with a physical connection, and they do not seek intimacy, understanding, and deep connections with themselves and others. We will take the belief and perceptions of others as our own, and we will fail to see, find, or connect with our own spirituality. So much is changing in the world, and what is right and wrong now is a massive gray area. During this square, we will be extremely disillusioned regarding what is right or wrong. We won't realize the negative effects and repercussions our actions have on our spirituality, and we will think it is okay because everyone else is doing it. It is a case of being a sheep. Right now, most of us are going to be sheep. We will do what everyone else is doing, hoping that it will bring us some kind of purpose or meaning. But an important thing to realize is that doing what everyone else does is not part of your purpose and meaning, and you have a very unique purpose to fulfill. 99% of the people in this world live like sheeps and zombies due to them following the norm. But the norm doesn't really get them anywhere. Following a norm leaves most feeling empty. A new norm is heading our way, and this square is going to challenge you. Are you faithful towards your spirituality and true to yourself, and you will not be influenced by any new changes happening around you now? Or is your connection with your true self lacking, and you give in to the way things are changing around you without questioning how it will impact you spiritually? The downside to this transit is a significant loss of faith and belief by the masses. This is not a good thing, as faith and belief in anything, whether it is a religion or a way of living, is vital for the soul to have a purpose and to remain pure. When we lose faith and we believe our actions have no repercussions, the world becomes a rather dark place. This square will make you assess which actions and beliefs damage your spirituality and generally lower your vibration, leading to negative situations in your life. A big thing happening now is the booming sexuality of humanity. In the past, religions limited people's sexuality. As things are changing, people see no repercussions for their sexual actions. However, this has disastrous consequences on the soul's ability to connect with its higher self as well as intimately with other people. How are things changing around you, and how are your actions changing accordingly? Do not forget that spirituality is still very important, and do not allow yourself to be tricked or brainwashed by what is out there. We are in between heaven and hell. We have angels around us, leading us into the right path. But we also have devils and demons tugging at our ankles, ushering us towards a different direction. What you do and what you decide now on Earth is extremely important, as it will indicate whether you will remain in the low vibration of existence or if your vibration will increase, bring you blessings and many good things in your life. Our first Mercury retrograde for this year will be on January 30th in the sign of Aquarius. Before the retrograde, Mercury will move past Saturn, Jupiter, and the Sun. Once it retrogrades, it will move past those three, and once it turns direct, it will pass a close conjunction with Saturn and an exact conjunction with Jupiter. This is a lot of Mercury conjunctions in quite a short period. This Mercury retrograde will make us question our decisions and actions that we have made to accommodate and consider others. Yes, the world is changing and things are changing around us, but how is it impacting us personally? Doubts and fears will come into our minds regarding specific changes happening around us as we wish to hold on to that which we know and that which we are comfortable with. We will initially be all systems go and on board with changing the world, but once we realize how it is impacting us on a personal level, we might not be too keen on these changes anymore, wanting things to go back to the old ways again that we are used to. Along with any change comes massive amounts of resistance. And this is the great point of resistance that we are going to face before there is any significant change. We will be confused about and question authority, political systems, educational systems, and religions. The way these sectors are evolving can be unknown to us, causing us to be worried and fearful. One would assume that in a world where everyone is considered and things are fair and equal to all, things would be peaceful. But that is not true. There will likely be a lot of confusion in the world this retrograde, and this one will probably be more intense than the previous ones we have experienced. A lot of mistakes will likely be made, and a lot of things will be misinterpreted. Everyone is going to rethink their decisions and actions that they made over the last few months now. We have been pulling the blinds over our eyes, and we have been confusing ourselves. Usually, a Mercury retrograde is a very personal thing where we go through some confusion inside ourselves. Still, because this retrograde will be in conjunction with outer planets, it can cause a lot of turmoil in this world. Travel and tourism might go into chaos. There can likely be a very big plane crash, or something can go incredibly wrong at a very important historical site. There can be a financial crisis, causing stock markets to plummet temporarily. I need to note that Saturn square Uranus, that is also happening later this year, also signifies a major economic downfall. However, this retrograde can be what starts this downfall. There can be a significant miscommunication in politics, which can have very negative consequences. Saturn square Uranus is a rare transit which we can expect to see every plus/minus 19 years. The last time this transit happened was at the dawning of a new millennium back in 2000. We will experience this transit 3 times this year. The first one was on February 17, the second one on June 14, and the last one will be on December 24. When Saturn squares Uranus, it will be very tricky for us to deal with internal frustrations and annoying external circumstances in our life. This transit is happening 3 times this year, and this is pretty intense, much like the Jupiter and Pluto conjunction we experienced 3 times last year. We will be pushed to push our personal boundaries further and further until we might eventually reach a point where we have to give in to our limitations and needs in order for necessary change to take place. A lot is changing in the world right now, but how are you changing? How is the way you think, speak, act, and exist helping and aiding a change in the world around you for the better? We all have our boundaries that we wish that others would not cross, and others not crossing these boundaries leaves us feeling comfortable, happy, and in our comfort zone. This comfort zone that you might have is going to be eliminated during this square. Do not expect others to adhere to your boundaries, as this might be impossible. If the world adheres to everyone's boundaries, will there ever be any progression? I doubt it. During this square, although having your wants, needs, and wishes ignored might feel like it's the end of the world, it really isn't. Allow yourself to be flexible. We all need to change for the world around us to change as well. Saturn in Aquarius ushers social peace and equality. Uranus in Taurus indicates major changes in our financial life and comforts and assurity that we usually have. For social changes to occur, changes also need to take place when it comes to how we view money and how we go about creating a comfortable life for ourselves. Some of us might lose a lot now, as this might be required for social equality to eventually take place. If you do lose now, realize that it is happening for the greater good, and sacrificing your comfort is a way to improve the lives of others around you in many cases. Go have a look at where Uranus and Saturn are placed in your natal chart, and these 2 houses will indicate the 2 areas in your life that will be in conflict during this square. Globally, we can expect the following: a massive sudden increase or decrease in the global population, technology disasters such as plane crashes or subway accidents. The stock market will likely take a plummet, and we can expect to see a global financial crisis. Terrorist attacks, there might be bombs. There could be another disease outbreak, although it might not be on the level of severity that COVID-19 was. There will be huge technology advancements. Some of these advancements will cause an upset in society where people refuse to allow these advancements to take place due to religious beliefs. Natural disasters can also take place. Around February 26, Jupiter in Aquarius will trine the North Node in Gemini, and this will be a beautiful time for the world. There is likely going to be a treaty of some kind, or there will be some kind of agreement that will ensure the benefits of many people. We can expect peace between religions or political figures. There can be a very important marriage or unification that will lead to the benefit and well-being of many. There can be a few changes in law and the educational system. However, these changes will benefit humanity in the long run. Because this transit is happening in Aquarius and Gemini, it leads me to believe that there can be a lot of events that occur or changes that can lead to social justice and equality. There is a chance that some countries might start offering free education and healthcare, and the welfare system can change to be more beneficial to those on the receiving end. Pluto will come into an exact quintile with Chiron again on March 23. This transit occurred in November 2020 as well as April 2020. This is quite a special transit, and Pluto being in such close proximity to each other over the past year have given us many opportunities for personal healing. Since the virus hit us and we all had to go into lockdown, many of us had to face a lot of inner turmoil and issues that we have been refusing to face. Remember that feeling that you felt when you were in isolation and you had to deal with your thoughts and your emotions with no one around to dilute the impact of what you are experiencing? What you have not dealt with inside you that you have been putting off or that you have been avoiding will creep back when this transit happens. If you avoided your emotions during the previous two transits, you now have one last chance to identify what causes pain, turmoil, and negative experiences in your life and to work through eliminating this inside you. After this, healing the wound inside you can be almost impossible, so make sure you work on it during this transit. Many of us might think, oh great, the lockdown is over, life is semi-back to normal, and we do not need to worry about dealing with our inner world and our emotions anymore. However, we will be pleasantly surprised when we realize normalization and having life be a certain way does not eliminate a feeling of happiness and discontentment that we might still have within ourselves. Circumstances in our life around this time will cause us to go back to a time of self-isolation where we reflect on ourselves and we deal with our demons that we have been hiding in the closet from ourselves. Pluto Quintile Chiron is a time where you need to face the lies that you have been telling yourself. Jupiter enters Pisces on May 13th. When Jupiter enters Pisces, there will be a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we're unaware of. Many of us are changing and expanding. However, this will not be visibly evident. Globally, we approach situations and scenarios with more compassion and empathy, and we become more sensitive to the needs of those within our community and around us. We might choose to become more charitable or to engage in charity work or activities that improve the lives of others, but we will not be extremely open about this. We will do good deeds without feeling the need to have to post it all over social media and to have to show the world that we have done these good deeds. Just the mere satisfaction that we get from helping another will be enough. We can expect celebrities, billionaires, and wealthy people giving away large portions of their riches during Jupiter in Pisces to those who really, really need it. This is a time where many religions and faiths might relook their current mode of operation and structure and look to ways to expand through which they can get people's attention in this continuously expanding and changing modern age. Many people will relook at and question their spiritual and religious views and beliefs now, going on a personal journey of exploration and trying to find their own personal truth. We can expect an increase in people joining spiritual communes and retreats during Jupiter in Pisces. Many of us will realize that we cannot live a happy life if we ignore our spiritual needs and pretend that we do not have any higher purpose or soul. This will be a short dip with Jupiter in Pisces, as Jupiter will retrograde back into Aquarius on July 28th again. Over the next 2.5 months, you will notice that you become more spiritually aware and aware of your religious views and beliefs, and you will start questioning your spirituality more. We will want to connect with something bigger than that what we are currently experiencing. We will notice the spiritual meaning behind our interactions with others and the experiences that we have. Spirituality is a personal thing, and it is important to note that there are many different paths one can follow to reach enlightenment. Each of us will follow a unique path toward our own spirituality and enlightenment. Those who are born in the first week of Pisces season will likely experience some extremely positive experiences and changes in their life, putting them onto a very important spiritual path. We will learn more about ourselves during Jupiter in Pisces, more so than we have learned while Jupiter was in any other sign. We will learn a lot about our spiritual side and our spirituality, more so than we have ever before. Jupiter enters Pisces again on December 28th. We can expect the following. Mankind or humans will likely land on or be able to travel to or discover another sector of space that we haven't discovered before. We will be able to travel further in space with humans in a spaceship than we have ever before. They might start sending robots and start building buildings on Mars to begin the civilization that is there. There might also be a malfunction of important space equipment leading to loss and destruction. A president or a political figure might be forced to resign, or they will likely be pushed out of power. Terrorist attacks can also usher this. There might be a scandal in relation to illegal activities that leaves this person with no choice. There can be a nuclear disaster somewhere on Earth or a nuclear fallout. There is likely also going to be a new best-selling TV series or movie that comes out this year. We can expect significant power outages where cities will go without power for days, possibly even weeks. There is a high chance of natural disasters ending large amounts of lives this year. There is a talk of a major earthquake hitting the United States and South Africa by 2022, and it is possible that it can hit the US or South Africa this year in 2021. We can expect many natural disasters, including water. There can also be a fatal school shooting that takes place that causes people to re-look and question the current social structure. Mercury will enter retrograde in Gemini on May 29th, very close to the North Node in Gemini. A Mercury retrograde in such close proximity to the North Node will cause us to question whether our current intentions and actions are in alignment with what we want out of our goals and wishes for the future. Do you want a sports car in a few years, but you're working as a cashier? Do you want to raise a family, but you're still single, giving all your time and energy to work? Assess whether the current path you are on is in alignment with what you want out of the future. And if it is not, make sure you contemplate the changes you need to make and execute them once the retrograde is over. There will be a lot of miscommunication during this time regarding what our wants, needs, and desires are and what others need. We will be on a pursuit to find a meaning and a sense of understanding to life, while we also become agreeable and change ourselves according to the external influences. Our minds can feel like a puzzle, and putting the puzzle pieces together can be a little bit tricky. We might have fights, arguments, or disagreements with our siblings during this time, so it is best to keep any opinions to yourself while Mercury is in retrograde to avoid any extreme conflict. Look at the house where Mercury is located in your natal chart during this retrograde to identify which sector of your life needs to change in order for you to receive what you need in the future. Jupiter enters retrograde in Pisces on June 20th. When Jupiter enters retrograde in Pisces, we will desperately try to see and understand the truth of others and the truth in the world around us. We believe what we believe, and we know why we believe in it, but why do others believe in what they believe? It can be challenging for us to understand others, and during this retrograde, a lot of effort will be put into seeing life through the eyes of others and understanding why they do things the way they do and why they believe in what they do. We will likely learn lots and our spiritual awareness will increase, but we will not make this obvious. We can be rather secretive about these newly adopted beliefs that we have formed from our studies and experience. We will spend a lot of time encoding the mysteries of life, and the answers we might find will be too strange to tell or share with others. Our inner world becomes so loud and intense, it is challenging to understand and connect with others while we learn new things when it comes to the meaning of life. We might find it challenging to integrate our spiritual understanding with how we operate in society, and we can feel somewhat like a fish out of water during Jupiter retrograde in Pisces. We will be surprisingly more creative during this time. We will struggle to express ourselves verbally, but expressing ourselves creatively is like a walk in the park. We become more understanding, lacking judgment and discrimination. However, we still need to have our guards up to ensure that we don't put ourselves into dangerous situations. Finding inner peace and a spiritual belief that we can connect with is our main aim during Jupiter retrograde, but we struggle to find this. Once Jupiter goes direct, this will likely become more accessible to us again. The Jupiter retrograde will enter Aquarius on July 28th. While Jupiter is retrograde in Aquarius, we will feel very anxious, unsettled, and likely unsure about our future. We become more open to paths less followed. However, we feel nervous and uncertain about proceeding with these paths. That which we have always wanted to explore but never have, we will possibly want to investigate now, no matter how outrageous it might be. We need a lot of freedom now to explore the things we have always wanted to. So avoid being around people who are overly judgmental and limiting towards you during this time. We can be blindly enthusiastic during this time, refusing to see the bad or the negative in a situation, even if it really needs to be addressed and looked at. Many of us will likely meet some strange people during this time, only so that they can share information or their perspective with us, as this will really serve us now. We will give a lot to others during this time, however, we will not expect that much in return. Look in your natal chart which house Jupiter is in when it is in retrograde in Aquarius. This will show you which area of your life you are keen to grow and succeed in, but you still need to learn a lot and gain much more experience before blessings and abundance come your way. Neptune enters retrograde in Pisces again this year on June 25th. Neptune in Pisces is a highly spiritual time for humanity where we connect with our divinity within and we wake up and become conscious to many things we haven't been aware of before. This can be tough as facing the truth about ourselves isn't always easy. While Neptune is in retrograde, we kind of get a break. We can live in ignorant bliss and we do not have to face our inner selves as much, getting to focus less on our spirituality and more on other areas of life. This can be a good thing as we do need a break from our inner world every now and then, and we need to focus on more serious things in life. This can also be a bad thing as we ignore the aspects and elements of our life and personality that desperately needs to be dealt with and that actually require our attention while we focus on other things. This is a time where we must turn our sense of kindness and compassion inward towards ourselves. If you are a person who does a lot for others, during Neptune in retrograde is a time where you need to do less for others and more for yourself and not feel bad about it. It will be tricky for others to take advantage of us now as we harness more love and compassion for ourselves, and we will not allow anyone to take advantage of or to mistreat us. The Neptune retrograde period ends around December 1st, and then we will be able to proceed with our lives without having to face and own up to the harsh realities around us too much. Uranus will retrograde in Taurus from August 19th. If you have been working hard and you have been establishing yourself the majority of this year, then you will likely not have such a bad experience during Uranus retrograde. If you have not been working on establishing yourself and improving yourself, then you are likely going to run into some financial changes and issues concerning the security and sense of comfort that you have in life. During Uranus retrograde, we will want the best of both worlds. However, achieving this can be tricky. We will want our cake and eat it too. Have a look at where transit Uranus is in your natal chart, and you will see which area of your life you might be expecting too much from, but giving too little. For example, if Uranus is in the 7th house, you might want a stable, secure relationship, but you might not be willing to put in the effort it takes to ensure a relationship can be healthy. If it is in the 11th house, you might want many friends and for others to notice and appreciate you, yet you do not do anything for others and you do not notice and appreciate them. Mercury will retrograde in Libra on September 27th. When Mercury enters retrograde in Libra, we struggle to maintain peace, calm, and tranquility within ourselves and our lives. Our minds are somewhat chaotic, and making decisions is challenging, and we feel like we have no direction and we do not know how to make up our minds at all. It is essential to have others approve of what we do now, and we likely won't proceed with an action until we know that those we care about will be okay with what we are doing. It is important that we are honest and truthful to ourselves and everyone around this time, as we can adopt a people-pleasing mentality where we hide the truth to avoid disappointing others. We will likely view our relationships via rose-colored glasses, wanting to keep the peace and harmony instead of aggressing issues that need to be faced. Finding a balance within ourselves become a focus during this time. However, achieving this balance can be trickier than expected now, as we do get exposed to our shadow side more during Mercury in retrograde. There is a lot we have to work through and reflect on when it comes to ourselves. While Mercury is in retrograde, we try to create a happy, balanced life externally. However, while Mercury is in retrograde, it is important that you focus on creating an internal balance before you focus on creating an external one. Saturn goes direct in Aquarius on October 10th. Jupiter goes direct in Aquarius on October 18th, and Mercury goes direct in Libra on October 18th as well. October 10 to October 18 is a powerful time as Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury will go direct and end its retrograde period within this time. When these three planets go direct, our lives will begin normalizing and calming down. The retrograde period would have caused quite a stir in our lives, as well as having an impact on the collective, politics, finances, and social structures. If there was a financial crisis, it will likely start improving now. We can expect political feuds that have taken place over the past few months to be resolved, and social issues will also be addressed and efficiently dealt with quicker. Over the last year, since the end of 2020, there have been a lot of changes in this world. These changes have brought up additional issues unique to the scenarios created by these specific changes. And during the Jupiter and Saturn retrograde is when these challenges become a bit chaotic and out of hand. On December 14th, there will be a new moon and a total solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. What a fantastic event this is to see if you can see it. This solar eclipse will spark a fire of hope in our hearts again regarding a particular area of our life, making us believe and see that there is good to come out of it in the end. You will realize that the only thing stopping you from exploring life and living the adventure that you want to live is you. New possibilities for travel and studies might come to you now, which usually occurs when there is a new moon in Sagittarius each December, allowing you to expand your mind and your horizons. The holidays typically allows a lot of people to travel, and this is the influence of the Sagittarius new moon. Venus enters retrograde on December 19th, and this retrograde will be happening right next to Pluto in Capricorn. This Venus retrograde will bring up issues we have been ignoring when it comes to authority figures in our lives and our family. We might not be too keen on following the traditions laid out by our family, and we just struggle to allow other people to have power over us or to take charge when we need to. We approach relationships more seriously and maturely. We feel more connected to people who are older and more mature and who are able to give us guidance and direction. This Venus retrograde will bring pretty intense emotional experiences to us, especially relating to our relationships with others. The conjunction with Pluto will cause some confusion when it comes to our sexual desires, and this can possibly cause many of us to have to face our true desires in relationships and sexually that we might have been ignoring or that we have been keeping tucked away. We must watch out for negative emotions such as jealousy, as we can quickly become suspicious of others under the influence of the Venus and Pluto conjunction during this retrograde. So those are all the major transits and aspects that are occurring for the year 2021. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. Let me know if you have any feedback regarding any of my predictions or interpretations I have given you guys. And be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more astrology and spirituality videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.